Live text access training for real-time intralingual subtitlers. This is Unit 3, IT Competence. In this presentation, we will be dealing with Element 3, how to set up the working environment. In this lesson, we will talk about the importance of testing your tools setting. The materials for this presentation have been created by SAPTI Access, an accessibility service provider from Italy. My name is Enrico Pigliacampo. I am an Italian man with a beard and short hair. I will be displayed in a box at the top right corner of each slide. The learning outcome of this presentation is that the trainee can test a setting before real-time captioning starts. In this lecture, we will give you some tips on how to test the work environment before you start subtitling. Testing the setting. First of all, you have to test the input tools. The first thing you need to do is ensure you have a good sound input. You have to hear clearly from the speakers, leaving out as much noise as possible. Then you have to check that your input tools, the microphone for speaking and the keyboard for those who use typing techniques, are working correctly. If your tools run on batteries, check that you have spare ones in case you need to change them during the event. Finally, check that you have enough light illuminating your tools. You don't want to waste time because you can't find a key on your keyboard. If you're working for an event where you can't use much lighting, use a small light to illuminate your tools without disturbing the event. Now you want to test your output tools. First of all, check that all tools are connected and that all cables are working. The best way to check that everything is connected and working as it should is to create some subtitles. This will also give you the opportunity to check all the features of the subtitles and check whether you need to change anything, such as font, size, position, and so on. It is also a good idea to have a subtitle file ready to carry out a quick test, especially if you will use the same setting for different events and you don't have much time to test everything every time. This is an example of a subtitle file used to set up and test the output. There are few subtitles with different characters, lower and uppercase letters, accented letters, and numbers. Such a file will help you to quickly set up your tools and check that the subtitles are readable and have the characteristics you want. Whenever possible, it is great to involve clients in the testing process. They can tell you if your output meets their needs, give you suggestions, and help you make decisions to improve your service and reach the desired output. This is also useful to prevent complaints later. Moreover, clients usually know the venue, so they can help you if you need to find something like a socket or a longer cable. And now some final tips. Once you have set up and tested everything, turn everything off and then on again. In this way, you will be able to see if the settings are correctly saved. This is useful if you are going to use that setting more than once and you don't want to go through the whole process every time. Do a quick test before the event begins if possible. Write a few subtitles, for example, this is a test or this event will be accessible through live subtitling. This will tell you if everything is working and can be useful to show users that there are subtitles and where they will appear. It is very useful to have a clear view on everything that is going on, especially when there are multiple speakers, so you will not get confused. Always check that you can constantly control your output during the event, so that you know that everything is going well. Last but not least, remember that problems always happen. Even when you test everything multiple times and you have everything under control, something may come up while you are subtitling. Stay calm and solve the problem as quickly as possible. With experience, you will be very quick in solving any kind of problem. Summary. The testing process is very important. You need to be very accurate and thorough. Test everything before the event in order to avoid problems during real-time subtitling. Exercises. Create a subtitle file for your quick tests, like the one shown in slide 9.
LTA Live Text Access, Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, SDI, Internationale Hochschule, Scuola Superiore per Mediatori Linguistici, ZDF Digital, European Federation of Hard of Hearing People FHO, Velotype, Subti Access, European Certification and Qualification Association ECQA. Co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. Erasmus Plus project 2018-1-DE01-KA203-004218. The information and views set on this presentation are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official opinion of the European Union. Neither the European Union institutions and bodies, nor any person acting on their behalf, may be held responsible for the use which may be made of the information contained here.